Hey everyone, so it's Allison. I'm starting this vlog literally after I finished filming my little Drive With Me worship music edition. So it feels like today is just like a huge filming day, like just like one after another. But anyways, I thought I would do a reading vlog for two books that I'm reading this week or into next week as well, since it's Friday when I'm filming this. So the first book that we're reading together is We Were Kings by Court Stevens. It's a YA novel. I mentioned it in my previous life update video, so I'm super excited to read this. I've actually started it, and now I'm just doing the intro for this vlog. I was kind of in a bit of a hurry, so I wanted to just like jump on it, and yeah, so I'm like about 23 pages into the book, but if you want to know what it's about, I'll give you guys like a brief synopsis. So basically, Frances Quick was accused of murdering her best friend, Cora King. This happened like 20 years ago, and now there is this accelerated death penalty where basically she could either like stay in prison, or she would basically be like put on death row and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of crazy how that whole thing works out. There's like I feel like a lot of politics with that, and unfortunately, with the passing of this accelerated death penalty, that would mean that Frankie Quick would only have like 30 days to live, or 30 final days to live. So yeah, that's crazy. And so basically I'm at the part, and so basically the main character Nyla is trying to figure out and kind of like put together evidence to show that Frankie Quick was actually not the one who murdered her best friend Cora King. But yeah, it's just going to be crazy how this book pans out, and if she's able to prove her innocence. And Nyla is actually, her mom is best friends with Frankie Quick, so yeah, that's kind of all to the extent that we know of in the beginning. And I just got to the part in the book where where Nyla, because this is like nationwide news, like this is like literally like the talk of the town. Everybody knows in the neighborhood and in school, Nyla and her mom Beth, their relation to Frankie Quick, so they obviously don't want to be around people who are like associated with like a potential murderer. So they don't really have a lot of friends. Like Nyla doesn't really have a lot of friends, and like her classmates don't really like to associate with her. And then also her mom Beth doesn't really like have any people that she like hangs out with and like talks with, and so they're very much isolated. They actually live in this garage with a man named Richard. I don't think that's Nyla's grandfather. That might be just like a grandfather figure. We don't really know like his relation to both Nyla and Beth, but he's like a lot older than them. And also we know that her father is not in the picture, so that's also something to know as well that I've just found out. So yeah, I'm also at the part where these like news reporter people came into or knocked on their front door, and basically Nyla answers the door, and they're asking like, where is this person? I don't know if I want to say, because it's like a pretty big thing. I don't know. But I'll think about it if I go back to editing and think that like, oh, it's an important thing and I should tell you guys about it. But basically, she found, it's like a bombshell like news that she gets, and so she finds out that her mom Beth is related very closely to the King family. So she's like super shocked, because now like everything she's ever known about her mom and her life before she was born is a lie. So yeah, I'm at the part where Nyla's like literally took the car and just is driving, just like really upset, and just needs some air and just some space from her mom. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at in the book. Again, it's just like kind of like background information, but the chapters are pretty short, and I feel like I'll be able to finish this pretty quick. But I wanted to take you guys along because I feel like this is a crazy story, and I feel like I'm just gonna like want to update you guys whenever I find out something crazy. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna try not to spoil too much of the book, but I feel like it's kind of hard, especially since I am talking about the book and reading it with you guys. It's kind of hard to like not spoil something, but I'll try my best not to. Read a little bit more, and then I'll have some lunch and update you guys probably a little bit later. Got the book better than the movies. I'm so excited. I'm going to get some scissors. Yeah, I'm so excited. I've heard so much hype around this book that I'm like, I can't wait to read it. Okay. Oh, okay. Still in pretty good condition. I did get the paperback because it was cheaper. So yeah, the paperback doesn't come. The paperback is actually a yellow cover, but if you buy the hardcover, it's in blue. So yeah, it's so cute. Apparently, all I've heard about this book is that it's cheesy and cringy, but in the best way possible, which makes me excited. It's a YA book, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I'll read you guys a synopsis. Okay. Oh, it says a sweet and funny love letter to romantic comedies. This is a little blurb. Perfect for anyone who wishes their life had a film-worthy soundtrack, a quirky wardrobe, and a memorable meet-cute. That was from Carrie Winfrey, author of Waiting for Tom Hanks. Not sure who that is, but it's an author. It says Liz Buxbaum has always known that Wes Bennett was not boyfriend material. You would think that her next-door neighbor would be a prime candidate for her romantic comedy fantasies, but Wes has only proven himself to be a pain in the butt ever since they were little. Wes was the kid who put a frog in her Barbie dream house, the monster who hid a lawn gnome's severed head in her little homemade neighborhood book exchange. Gosh, okay, flash forward 10 years from the great gnome decapitation. It's Liz's senior year, a time meant to be rife with milestones, perfect for any big screen, and she needs Wes's help. See, Liz's forever crush, Michael, has just moved back to town, and horribly annoyingly, he's hitting it off with Wes. Meaning that if Liz wants Michael to finally notice her and hopefully be her prom date, she needs Wes. He's her in. But as Liz and Wes scheme to get Liz her magical prom moment, she's shocked to discover that she actually likes being around Wes. And as they continue to grow closer, she must re-examine everything she thought she knew about love and rethink her own perception of what happily ever after should really look like. So yeah, I just think it'll be a fun time, guys. I'm super excited to read this. So yeah, this book we will be going into and reading together the second half of this video, so stay tuned. It's the next day. You probably would have known the time has passed since I last filmed the last clip for you guys. So essentially I didn't really have time to read a lot last night or yesterday because I was editing this video and then editing another video, so there's just a lot of editing, and so I ended up reading about like 60 pages like late last night, like around like I think 11:30, so my brain was already like kind of like shut off, and I feel like it's hard to get really into a book when it's like late at night. So I was just trying to read this. I was even like listening to the audiobook because I was struggling to just keep my concentration and focus. So I'm gonna try my best to tell you guys where I left off because again, it was late last night that I was still like, I feel like some things aren't really clear to me about what happened, but I'll try my best. I think it's not a huge spoiler, but if you don't want to know it, then I guess you can just skip to this part. But Nyla finds out from news reporters that came to her house, basically saying that they were looking for Elizabeth King, and she's like, "There's no Elizabeth King here. There's only a Beth Wagner, who was my mom." And then that's when she finds out that. And then when she talks to Richard, he basically confirms that her mom, Beth Wagner, is actually Elizabeth King, and that she is sisters with Cora King, who was murdered, basically. Like, well, if her name is Elizabeth King, like, is everything that she said about her life like a lie, like shock? So she ends up taking her car and driving somewhere, and that's kind of where we end off. And then once I picked up the book again, I find out that she ends up going to this place where Cora King was like murdered, and so they have like a whole tour for it, which I thought was really interesting. I think the area is called Knockabout, I'm pretty sure. And she ends up going on this tour. Nobody knows like her relation to like Frankie Quick and Cora King, so she's just like in this tour, just like sitting there, like, you know, just seeing what like really happened and everything like that, and like what this tour is about. And so she ends up going on this murder tour, as they call it. And the tour guide is named Sam. We get introduced to Sam, which if you read the synopsis, he is going to help out Nyla with figuring out who really actually murdered Cora King. So that's when we finally meet Sam. And he actually knows who Nyla is. Like, she didn't even say anything, but he already knew. His father, I forgot to say that. I literally filmed this clip. This is the second time filming it because things are just coming back to me. His father is named, I think, Martin Jarvis. He was the ex-boyfriend of Cora King. This little conversation with Sam, and it was just really nice, and it was really cute, their little text exchange. Let me see if I can find it again. He asked if she was coming back to the Valley, which is where the tour was and where Knockabout is, and she was like, yeah. And then yeah, it was just like super cute that like they were having this like nice conversation after what happened in the previous chapter. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. If I remember anything, I will let you guys know. I'll update you guys, but I'm gonna make some breakfast. It's literally so like late for me to have breakfast, but I'm just gonna have breakfast. And then I will continue reading. So I just finished chapter 15. So I read about a chapter, and something that was this chapter, the way it ended was just like so crazy. It was just like a little bit like, ooh, gave me a little bit of the chills. Basically, in this chapter, Nyla visits Frankie at the Floyd Correctional Facility, and she asks her one question that I think everybody wants to know in regards to this murder, like who killed her, and yeah, and then basically asks like how her mom, Frankie, and Cora, like how they were like growing up and everything like that. And then something happens to Frankie as they're about to like go their separate ways, because she only has 30 minutes to talk to her and visit her. And something that Frankie says before they part ways is, she says this, so this is what Nyla says: why wouldn't she at least go back to fight for you? She's referring to her mom. If you're innocent and she's your greatest defender, she should have faced the past and figured it out, or she could die. A pause, or you could die. So yeah, crazy. And then again, And then Frankie actually warns Nyla not to go back to Knockabout because she basically told her earlier that she ended up going to Knockabout. And after she tells her this, Frankie basically says, like, don't go there. Like, that's not, basically insinuating it's not a safe place for you. And then something happens, and then this is what the writer, Court Stevens, writes. Blood leaves a trail between us like breadcrumbs. I'm standing in a puddle. Yeah, so crazy. So I'm gonna keep reading because after that, I just want to keep reading it. It's about 11 o'clock at night, so I spent, I think, around like an hour, like a little over an hour reading this book. So I'm about to start on page 188. I plan on reading about like 50 to 60 more pages before I go to bed, but I wanted to tell you guys some things. I wrote like some notes on my iPad as I was reading that I wanted to mention to you guys. So first off, Richard actually left his hometown, Lone Valley, where Nyla's mom and Frankie lived. So that's kind of their connection there. Nyla is actually determined to save Frankie, knowing that there's something deeper to Cora's death that led her mom to escape her family, basically like change her name and have everyone call her Beth Wagner. It's really just to protect her, Frankie, and just use it as protection. And there was actually something that happened that really like made Nyla even more determined to prove Frankie's innocence. The King family, I didn't mention this earlier, but earlier in the book, it was alluded to the fact that the King family has a lot of power and influence. Especially Cora and Elizabeth's mom, Rebecca King, is actually the senator. So Nyla's grandmother is a senator. And so because of the power and the influence that this family has, they used their power and influence to basically prove that Frankie, with her previous record of assault, they basically used that as leverage to basically like say this, because of her past aggression, she actually killed Cora. So that's kind of how that happened. Also, Nyla believes that her grandmother, Rebecca King, the senator, also joined in the passing of the accelerated death penalty. And it's kind of also talked about in the beginning of the book because the accelerated death penalty, when it was announced through the news earlier in the book, it was actually to help overcome financial crisis, because obviously it's going to cost taxpayer dollars, like, to be able to upkeep correctional facilities. Obviously, if they have a lot of people going to prison, they obviously need space for those people. So that's kind of the point of this accelerated death penalty, to put more people or more prisoners on death row. So yeah, that's kind of that. So a lot of political stuff going on. And then also Nyla enlists the help of Sam, who we talked about earlier, who's her friend, someone that's her age that she's able to just, talk to and basically confide in, that's not like family. She basically asks him to help create this like YouTube video series called Death Days, to basically shed light on Frankie's innocence. So as they kind of create these videos, they obviously are spending more time together, so you know what that means. And Nyla just really appreciates and looks forward to time spent with Sam. And there was actually something that happened when they put up this specific video. There was someone trying to like scare them and threaten them. So something actually happened where all of their lives, herself, so Nyla, her mom, and Richard, their lives were put in danger because of one video that they put out. And they ended up recording what that event was. And yeah, so basically someone is trying to distract them and kind of just put them off of like just trying to prove Frankie's innocent. Someone is trying to stop them and really send a big warning to not get involved. Also, something that I just read was that Sam and Nyla actually find letters written between Beth, Nyla's mom, and Frankie in Sam's father's cave. So I mentioned earlier that Sam was Martin Jarvis's son. That is incorrect. He's the son of Ben. I forgot what his last name was. It was mentioned here earlier. And Ben was actually one of Cora's best friends, besides Frankie. So that's their connection. He has this cave in his house where there's like a bunch of boxes, and one of them included a box of letters written between Beth and Frankie. And it basically pointed to the fact that Frankie may actually be innocent, and there may be someone very close to them that may have killed Cora. So yeah, really crazy stuff. I'm going to keep reading. I just wanted to update you guys. I'll try my best to update you guys before I go to bed in case there's something major that happens that I want to let you guys know. But if not, I will be seeing you guys tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be able to finish this book tomorrow. Hey everyone, so the lighting is not the best, but we are going to make do. I'm kind of talking kind of quiet because everyone in my house is asleep. So yes, it's 1 a.m. So of course, you're asking yourself, why am I so awake? I'm trying to read this book. But I thought I would update you guys because I was like, surely nothing's gonna happen. No, something did happen. Something major just happened. Like a major bombshell was dropped, and I don't know what to do with myself right now. But obviously, I have to keep reading. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. But I feel like this news explains to a certain extent why Nyla keeps defending Frankie and why she keeps protecting, why she keeps saying that the lies, why she kept lying, and all of these lies were to protect Nyla. To some extent, after reading this huge bombshell that was dropped, it makes sense. Okay guys, so I just finished reading this book. It's 10:15 p.m. On Sunday night. So the last time I talked to you guys was like 1 a.m. this morning, and now I'm coming to you guys with the book finished because I had about like 100 pages left to read. So I was like, I'm just gonna finish the book because I feel like there's gonna be something crazy that happens. So I might as well just update you guys when I finish it. Also, just want to let you guys know, many people in my house are on like FaceTime phone calls, so it's kind of loud. So hopefully it's not big, you guys can't hear it. But just letting you guys know, this is my second time filming this clip because I didn't like the lighting earlier, so had to film this again, but that's okay. So basically, where I left off with you guys, there was a major bombshell that was dropped, which obviously I can't tell you guys. So that was what the previous clip that you watched. And then I found out as I was reading that the King family is involved in some sketchy business that kind of was alluded to in the beginning, but I didn't see the connection until until I was like reading more into the book, especially the last 100 pages. It was talking a lot about this business, so that was crazy. And it was even got more twisted, like as they were talking about this like business that they were part of, like it was just like it got even more twisted, and I would not have like predicted that. It was so crazy. So that was something that I didn't mention before, but it kept getting brought up as I was reading it today. So then I was like, oh wait, I should probably tell you guys because that was really crazy. And then also found out that Richard is connected to the King family. So that's something that I didn't know because obviously I mentioned earlier that I didn't really know his connection to the King family. I knew that he's like a grandfather figure to Nyla, but like they never really explained, so that makes more sense. I was like, am I just missing something? So that was definitely nice to kind of get that confirmation. So that was revealed. And then the ending, guys. So I figured out the ending. I mean, I was correct in my assumption and prediction with part of the ending, so I was pretty happy. I wasn't totally confident. I was like 50-50. And then this major thing happened, and I was like, did not see it coming at all. And I was like, whoa. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. And I feel like as that scene played out and as things happened, I figured out why the title is called We Were Kings and why there's this diamond and then blood on it. So you'll get it. You'll get it. And so, yeah, that was the first part of the ending. The second part of the ending was something I did not see coming. I really didn't see this coming. And I don't know. I just, I was led to believe one thing the entire time. And so when this part of the ending came, I was like, no way. Like, no way. And then I think before this thing happened, the second part of the ending came about, I didn't know the direction of the book. I didn't know how things were going to end up. Like, didn't really know. It's a little bit like kind of nervous. I was like kind of like getting stressed about it. And then once this happened, I was like, okay, I see where this book is gonna end, and I can see the hope. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was a little bit. I was getting stressed there for a minute, and then everything kind of happened, and I say it all to say, I'm satisfied with the ending with based on the way that the book kind of came about is what I'm trying to say. It's like I'm satisfied with how that ending happened. So hopefully that doesn't give too much away. But yeah, I love this book. At first, before the ending, I thought I was going to give this book 3.75 stars. But then now, after I read the book, I'm like, I think I have to give it 4 stars. I really have to. It's not like the most amazing book that I've read, but I have to give it 4 stars. I just have to. So yeah, I feel like 4 stars is still pretty good for like a mystery YA book. I would say Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the first book, I would probably give it 4.5, and this one 4. But I don't know why. I guess maybe there are certain parts of the book that I was bored with, but and the Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I was never bored with any of it. So maybe that's why it's a little bit higher in terms of her rating. But I just finished this book like 5 minutes ago, so my rating may change tomorrow morning. So we'll see. If I go back into editing and feel like I need to change my rating, then I'll do so. But as of right now, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. So yeah, I'm super like I'm still like trying to take in that ending. So it's Tuesday. I was supposed to update you guys yesterday on Better Than the Movies, but I just couldn't put this book down. Like I just, oh my gosh, guys, I'm like getting so giddy because I just loved reading about just Wes and Liz and just their banter. It just felt so effortless. So basically, I feel like also with romance books, I feel like there's not really much like to the plot for the most part. Liz and Wes are basically teaming up together so that Michael could like ask out Liz to prom, because Liz has this huge crush on Michael. She's had a crush on him since they were all little, and he finally he came back to town, and she's like, oh my gosh, like I want him to take me to prom. So they've been like teaming up. But so I feel like so far what I've noticed is that Liz really just can't seem to think that Wes likes her, and B, that she could ever like him. Like she just keeps saying like he's not my type, but like clearly like clearly he's smitten with you, and clearly you're feeling that same way. She just is like trying to deny it because she wants to go with Michael. She really likes Michael. Like she's been laser focused on Michael. Like Michael is her goal. So yeah, I'm just like, girl, get it together. Like he clearly likes you. It's just like she's just trying to deny it. And yeah, I think I'm like 200 and I'm on 206 page 216. So that's pretty much most of the book. Like this half of the book has just been her denying her feelings and like trying to deny that there could ever be something more with her and Wes, which I'm like, honestly, I love Wes. Like he's done multiple things where he is like saving her from like really embarrassing situations. Like the fact that he like went out of his way to like do all these things to save her, while Michael was just standing there. Like it just shows that she belongs with Wes and she just can't see it, even though literally everyone keeps telling her that. Also, I forgot to mention this because it just came to my mind, but earlier in the book, I don't want to give too much away, but Wes and Liz went somewhere and he like paid for everything and even paid for this one thing for her date or for a potential date with Michael. And she's like, why would he do that? Like, and like she was just like so confused to why he would do that. And I'm like, girl, girl, it's because he likes you. It's because he really, really likes you, not just as a friend, but like as something more. And I just find that so funny because she's just like, maybe he's just being nice. It's like, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he just actually really likes you. So I feel like that's something that just for me shows that Liz just like is so laser focused on Michael that like she can't even fathom like her like kind of like nemesis neighbor like ever like being something more to her or her being something more to him. On page 275, and I just got the part in the book that I did not see coming. Like I kind of had a feeling it would come, but then like a few pages before the part that I'm on right now, I was like, no, I don't think it's gonna happen. It happened. And I think it's just gonna make things even more confusing for everyone involved. Like, it was already confusing to begin with, like a chapter before, and now it's just gonna get even more confusing. I'm here for it, but I'm also like, I don't even want to continue reading because I'm like, I just know it's just gonna be like even more confusing. It's just gonna cause a lot of like confusion and a lot of feelings hurt, I feel like. So yeah, but obviously like I feel like it was a perfect place to put this scene because then obviously it'll cause tension, conflict. So it's perfect for the book, but like I'm just not mentally prepared. So I just want to hop on and basically give my final thoughts on Better Than the Movies. I know I did just a few check-ins with you guys, but I honestly have to say that this book was just a nice surprise. Like I thought there were going to be moments that I thought were like super cringy and I was just like not really like it, but honestly I really love this book. I'm like trying to figure out like my rating because I really liked it. I liked the ending. I thought it was just really great. The only part that just like annoyed me, which I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but just main character was just a little bit annoying with when she's just like, oh, like he's just being nice, but really he's like just like actually into you. So that, and then also her like getting upset with her stepmom because she feels like she's trying to replace her mom. To some extent, I get it, but at the same time, it was kind of annoying. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I would give this 4.5 stars, even with those little things. Like, they weren't like really annoying and frustrating, but it was just like one of those things I did notice. So I think I would give it 4.5. I think on my Goodreads I gave it 5, but I think I might give it 4.5. I still really like this book. Like if I were to make a video on all of my favorite like romance books, this would still definitely be part of like my top 5, I would say. But yeah, it wasn't like, I don't think it was like 5-star quality. But I also love the fact that both of the characters, you really just like see their banter and you see the progression of like their friendship and relationship. Like I really felt that, like we got a lot of that in this book, which I really did like. So that was something that I didn't know if we would get like a whole lot of interaction, but I think because they were like working together and had a like were actually like trying to like pull this like plan and like really like, I think the fact that they had to work together and like had like a goal in mind, I think that's why they had a lot of moments together, and that's why they had a lot of banter back and forth. So I just really liked it, and yeah, that's kind of my review. So I would definitely give this 4.5 stars. It's definitely a romance book that I would definitely recommend you guys to read. It is YA, so this is not a spicy book. So if you're looking for that, this is definitely a book that you should definitely read and pick up. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this book reading vlog for my next reading vlog to make it a little bit shorter, but I guess I just get really excited that I like just talk a lot, so yeah. But I'm definitely gonna like shorten it because I don't want to bore you guys, but I just love talking about books, so hopefully that's okay. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully if you guys want more reading vlogs, give this video a thumbs up, and I hope you guys are having a good day or night whenever you're watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.